I had a great week. I've finally, after months, I've basically done my entire. I was never behind, ever, but now it's like I've done every possible thing. There's one revision that I have to do on two tiny videos, but other than that, I don't have any. I'm waiting on people rather than people waiting on me. It hasn't happened in months, and when that happened, prior to that, it didn't happen for a year. So, but that last time, that wasn't too long ago, I procrastinated. I wasted that extra time, would put me in the position I was weeks ago, that I felt that why can I get ahead of my work? Why do I feel that I'm constantly behind on something? But right now I've reached the point of there's nothing for me to do besides the little things that pop up every single day, which I want to start with this extra time that I'll have. Obviously, I want to learn more stuff, use it to learn, but also to standardize my structurize. I don't know if that's a word. Have a better structure in my workload, and for example, tell clients, okay, when you send me work, I cannot promise to do it that day. I will start working on it 24 hours from the moment you sent it. And when I don't have that much demand and not making enough, I'm barely making enough money, it's like I want to be able to deliver work immediately to make myself more valuable, which it is obviously, but because my thought process is they're gonna find someone who will do that, and for cheaper, and that's not helpful. That's not even helpful for them, because nothing is that urgent, and no one should work like that, at least for long periods of time. Sometimes there's moments like that. For example, with my client of $1,600 a month, we worked on something the day off extremely fast, and it was worth it. There's a real reason for that, but that doesn't happen often, and it won't, probably ever again. So those once in a year type of things, obviously, but then it's just a matter of doing the work, organized, with full focus, which I wasn't working with full focus. I did some finance. I looked at my books, and the all my earnings from the past months, and one month was $3,000 a month, which I didn't know I had a $3,000 a month. I thought I capped at $2,600, but one client paid me ahead of time, and it mixed with the prior month, and also all other months are above 2,000 besides January and February, which I knew, but all the rest I thought they were just barely about 2,000, but one was 3,000 and something. So insane. That allowed me to kind of feel better of how behind I felt this couple of weeks or months, because I had more work than I thought, that I remembered. So that made me feel better. But now I wanna, hopefully my clients don't send me that much work, and I can keep myself ahead and be able to have a structure so solid that when they send me work, I can start working on it immediately. I don't waste time procrastinating, like trying to gather the energy to do the boring tasks, which they are not boring. As soon as I start doing them, it's extremely fun. So it's like I suffer beforehand. It reminds me of my first year of going to the gym, which I dread every other training session. I didn't want to go, but I pushed myself every single time because my insecurities were bigger at the time. And then after a year, I just couldn't live without the gym. So it reminds me of just pushing for a year, even if it, and the funny thing, that's why I remember that, is that whenever I had those days where before the training session felt like I really, really don't want to go, like seriously don't want to go, I just pushed myself and went, and I had the best time every single time and felt awesome afterwards. The same thing happens with my work. I have a video to do, I do it, in the middle of the video I get a message that they want to change something. Those sort of things bumps me out a lot. It overwhelms me and makes me hate the idea of working on that. But if I'm able to like record all the things that happen, the time it takes me, the things that happen and that shouldn't happen, then the thing that should happen, and if I can make a standardized like SOP, I think it's the term, and be able to communicate that to my clients. Because, for example, if they start doing a lot of feedback in the middle of the work, it's like, you have to pay for that. And no one should work like that. Having a set limit on revision rounds, for example, like if you want me to have unlimited feedback rounds, it's like, pay me according to that. And those are the things that I should be measuring and diagnosing the problems, instead of just nagging and dreading working on any particular client, because every single client has its dreading points. And my job is to do the work, measure the good and bad things, and set expectations for the good and the bad things. It's that simple. But I've been failing at that because I was behind on the work, and my shortcomings, I wasn't able to basically do everything, and I prioritized getting the job done through any means necessary, meaning like if after that, if I do this work in this state of mind, but maybe I would have solved everything if I just stopped every hour to breathe for 30 seconds, not even 5 minutes. One strategy that I sometimes use when I'm present enough to realize is that when I'm feeling overwhelmed or dreading doing something, I just like stop, breathe, realize that this has to get done. It can get done right now or in the future. If it's in the future, I'll be thinking about it on the back of my mind until it gets done. And it's going to pile up with other clients and things. So, do I have the time right now? Actually, yes. Sometimes what happens is I had this time to preferably do something else. That's why the dreading starts. But can I do it right now and push the other thing? Would I feel better if I do that? Yes. Okay, let's breathe and do it. When I'm certain that I want to do a lot of something else, I don't mind it. I don't dread it because I was already perfectly scheduled for that. That's why I want to have a good structure and systematize everything, standardize everything to be able to, when something pops out of nowhere that adds work, probably unnecessarily or unpaid, let's call it, meaning that they shouldn't be able to demand that because it was out of the scope of the arrangement, but they do it anyways because that's how freelancers get treated. Let themselves get treated, because I can easily say, dude, that's outside of the scope of work, or that's too demanding, you have to pay for that. I could do that. That's why I said whenever I make these videos that feel like not necessarily a waste of time, that I always do it at the wrong time, meaning that I'm finally coming up with being productive and focused. I feel that this stops everything or is inconvenient, but I get those epiphanies that are awesome. It's like the getting friend zoned by a woman. They don't friend zone you. You let yourself get friend zoned. And this is the same thing. Freelancers are treated badly because they let themselves be treated badly. And obviously it's easier said than done. And the solution is having a lot of demand that gives you the courage to and the support to be able to be picky. And yeah, that's what I have to do. Right now I established a good working foundation with the $1,600 client, and the other clients are quite inconsistent, but I have 400 for sure from the other clients a month, like for sure. So I'm at my minimum $2,000 a month that I could, allows me to not think too much about, okay, do I have enough clients? Like I do. Like this month is like covered. And I can enjoy my free time and make sure I use my free time wisely. So yeah, that's at the point that I'm right now. That hopefully I don't procrastinate. I use it wisely. I learn new things. I get more demand. I want to see if I can get another agency to want to hire me at a higher price and at a retainer level. Meaning, if you don't pay $1,000 a month in advance, at minimum every month, regardless of the work, I won't work with you. I want something like that. That'd be awesome. And I'm basically aiming at $4,000 a month full time or $2,000 part time. So I can have two. Well, actually, it'd be better if it's 3,000 or 2,500 part time, because part time it's never part time. It's 3 1/4 of a full time. So if I at least don't get 2,500, which is a little bit more than the half of full time, and try to keep it like part time. But I know that sometimes it won't be part time. That's why the extra $500 from 2,000. That'd be awesome. Like 2,500 for part-time, for a part-time job. That'd be super cool. And using what I should do from now on is being able to deliver work as fast as possible, as soon as it comes, so I have free time, and in my free time learn a ton of shit. That's it. No more planning, just execution. Let's see how it goes this week that I'm advanced I'm not behind on any work. I should have a lot of things to update on next week. So thank you for watching the entire video, and I'll see you next week.